All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Full Send Half Mass podcast. Here tonight, we're going to be talking about the NASCAR playoff races at Vegas. Recap show here tonight, as well as the Formula One United States Grand Prix weekend at COTA. And we also have a little bit of silly season rumors that we want to talk about with you guys as well. Driver boneheads of the week. We'll take a look at the point standings when it regards to the Cup Series as well as the Formula One drivers and constructors championships, which have kind of taken a little bit of a change this weekend. And then also we'll preview this weekend's upcoming races, the Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series, the second race of the round of 4 or 8 for all three of those series, as well as the Mexican Grand Prix for Formula One this weekend, as well as our NASCAR and F1 fantasy lineups. So this should be a fun episode here tonight. But first off, Tom's here with me tonight. Tom, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm ready to talk about some racing. First off, second off, um, I'm 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 just happy to be here.
Heck yeah. Another awesome Tuesday podcast episode number 93. Creeping up on the end of the racing season. There's only a few races left. I think there's like 4 or 5 F1 races left. Uh as well as a couple sprint races as well, and then also a couple more NASCAR races, and then we're pretty much rounding out 2024. We also have some World Endurance Championship. We got one more round there as well. So we're winding down this season. It's been crazy, but we're going to talk about some stuff here tonight, especially this weekend's races with some thrillers and some dramatics that involve some interesting championship battles and fights here in the motorsports world. So, first off though, what about this news that Taylor Gray going to be going full-time racing for JGR in the Xfinity Series in 2025?
Well, I mean, we know that dude's got some money now, right? I mean, what old Creed will spill the beans on how much money he pays to be in that seat. Yeah, yep, he outbidded Creed there, for sure.
That's crazy. I mean, good for him. I think he's gonna contend for wins next year. I mean, he's contending for
I
wins this year on a part-time basis. I think he's got a chance.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I feel like he's just gonna be pretty mid though. To be honest,
Interesting.
I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards. I think he's gonna be probably a pretty success. I mean, he hasn't won yet in the Truck Series, so maybe my expectations are a little high. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
also,
he's
who does he race for?
yeah Tricon, which is like probably the second, maybe third best team in the Truck Series, maybe debatably the best team. I don't know.
Who's his teammate again
He's
in the
got
Truck
Corey
Series?
Heim.
Yeah,
Time.
he's gonna be mid.
Yeah, you're probably right. He probably will be mid. But interesting. That kind of does that fill out the lineup there for Joe Gibbs next year? They're bringing Brandon Jones back in. Now they got Taylor Gray. The 20 will
And
probably
then
be
the
a part-time team again.
Pacey.
Or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's it.
interesting. Interesting. Well, that's the first little bit of news. Second news, which I'm super excited about. He needs this opportunity. Ford backing Frankie Muniz to Rayone Brothers Racing, number 33 in the Truck Series in 2025. Malcolm in the middle, no longer stuck in the middle. He's going to the Truck Series, man, with a Ford team, bro. This is gonna be so awesome. I'm super excited for him. Uh, I don't know how I feel about the Ford thing though. Like, how much backing does that really mean? I mean, he seems optimistic about it. But if anything, we've learned over the last year and a half that we've watched him in any type of Ford equipment in any series, it's just been an absolute failure, colossal failure.
I mean, it's um, I don't know though. I mean, look, first, it's his first full time gig in a top three national tour. So I don't know. Maybe he can make the most of it. I have hope for him, just because I feel like that man's got a lot of passion and he cares. You know. But I don't know. It's a Rue Brothers truck. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. What was it? Lawless Allen was running full time this year in that 33 truck. Had maybe a couple good results. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
who?
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, we'll have to see, wait and see. But I'll be pulling for Frankie Muniz next year, seeing how well he could do. Probably a dark horse pick most of the year. Uh, Maybe best opportunities, maybe some of the road races. Who knows? With some of the heavy hitters in the truck series, maybe moving on, maybe moving out. I don't know. We'll see if he can maybe compete for top 15s. Think he could compete for top 15s next year? That would be a realistic
I,
goal.
I honestly don't know. I mean, let's look at his past and the teams he drove for and everything. It's kind of a wild card, isn't it?
Oh, it's a complete wild card. That's why I don't even know where to grade this on a scale of what to expect.
Yeah. I
It'd be
don't
interesting.
know. Honestly.
But nonetheless, we're gonna see Frankie Muniz behind the wheel of some type of truck next year with Rayon Brothers and Ford backing, so that'll be exciting. Next, I don't know if this was a meme or not. If you posted it, I didn't really look into it. But is it true that the fastest lap, correct me if I'm wrong, is gonna be gone in 2025 for Formula One?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's truth. That's truth.
I don't like that.
I don't know. I mean, it's like it's part of the prestige of every race, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
fastest man in the town, man. Like that's kind of a thing. Like the pole and then getting the fast lap in a race. I feel like that. I mean, it's not like you can exploit this, by like hitting at the end of a race, putting on fresh tires and getting the fastest lap because you have to be in the top 10 to get it anyway. So I just don't understand why they would take something like that out. It's kind of a top
yeah,
10 thing anyway. I don't know.
yeah,
And it's a 1 point in a championship could change the world. I mean, you could finish second, get instead of losing 7 points, you're losing only six if you can get the fast lap at the end of the race. I don't know how I feel about it. I like the bonus point for the fast lap. I mean, there's got to be some type of bonus point somewhere. I mean, every other race series basically has bonus points. I mean, you look at even the freaking the show that is NASCAR. I mean, they've got bonus points. IndyCar's got bonus points. I don't understand why Formula One's got to get rid of their bonus point. I don't like it. I don't like it. But damn. That's insane that they're actually taking that out. That surprised me. How long has that even been instituted in Formula One? It hasn't been that long.
Mm, no, it hasn't been that long. Maybe 5 years or so, 6 years.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like that. It's gonna change the dynamic, I think, of the championships for sure. I mean, it takes the thing out for. I mean, how many times have we seen it? Like we saw it with Sonoda last year at Coda. Remember when he was running like P8 or 9 or something like that at the end of the race? Was able to pit and get the fast lap at the end of the race, and all as well as finishing 10th. So then he was able to. Oh, what happened to the camera? For some reason it. Oh, because you're not streaming your screen. That's what happened.
My bad.
There we go. But yeah, we saw it with Sonoda last year at Coda, where he pitted right at the end of the race, got the fast lap, got the 10th place point, and then he also got the bonus point. I mean, that's going to kind of take that away from those teams, that build that gap throughout the race to get
Yeah.
that extra point. I don't like it.
It's got to be because McLaren bitched so much when Ricardo got the fastest lap in Singapore.
You're probably right, dude. It's an inside conspiracy. Zach Brown's
Inside
over
job.
there. Zach Brown's over there bitching and complaining.
Prove me wrong.
I mean,
Prove me
you're
wrong.
probably not wrong, dude. That might not even be a conspiracy. That might be factual truth right there. That's common knowledge. Oh man. So yeah, that's gonna be gone in 2025. Well, I don't know. Maybe at the end of this year. I mean, well, we'll talk about the Lando Norris weekend choke job here later, but I mean, imagine if he loses by a point, and it was like that 1 point he could have had at any race, with the
It's not
fastest
going to
lap.
matter if the rest of the season's going to be representative of
Coda.
Coda.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting that they're taking that out. All right, I guess like the final little bit. I guess there's two more things I want to talk about. First off, 23 and 11 or 23 11 and front row charters getting Nolan Void going into 2025. I mean, what are your thoughts and
Dictatorship.
opinions?
Dictatorship. That's what it is. You I mean, you're dumb enough to sign a charter agreement like what everybody signed except for 2311 and front row, and then this is what happens. Oh, what makes you think that now NASCAR doesn't have the power, if they don't like you, that they are going to campaign against you in race weekends? I mean, we saw it at the Roval. They penalize who was it? Bubba Wallace? Did they penalize Bubba
Yeah.
Wallace? Was it Bubba? And then right behind him, William Byron does the same thing. What makes you think that they're not going to be doing some backdoor BS like that on a scale that'll just absolutely destroy your race team? It's a dictatorship. They're going to do whatever the hell they want. And if you better not get on their bad side.
I mean, they did it to Starcom. I don't know if you watched that Dell Jr. download where you had Derek Cope on there, and Derek Cope was talking about how his race team Starcom, they basically NASCAR came to him and said, "Hey, you either sell your charter or we take it from you." So they were forced to sell
Yeah,
it so they could at least have some income off of it. I mean, it's kind of in place anyway. I mean, well,
yeah.
the problem with the charters anyway is when they originally signed it, they allowed that to be in there with the bottom three in points. NASCAR could take your charter away if you're the bottom three in the charter points or whatever. They've never done it, but they've threatened to do it, obviously, at least to one team that we have knowledge of. I mean, how many other teams? Did they go to BJ McLeod? Maybe that's why he sold his, because maybe
No,
NASCAR came to him
absolutely.
and told him he had to sell it, or they were gonna take it. You never know, man. Like crazy stuff like that. Racing without a charter though just seems like, I mean, interesting. I mean, they could miss the Daytona 500 if we get more than 40 something cars show up. Like that's crazy to me. That
That it's dumb. I mean, how can you defend something? You can't defend it. You're allowing NASCAR and their people to dictate who is going to thrive and who is not. And that has been my problem with charters since day one.
yeah, 100%.
You give power to the most powerful even more, they start playing games like this. And in fact, if you want to take it a step further, Jay, we're seeing that on a national scale, on a federal level today as well. And NASCAR is just mimicking it. They're corralling these people and feeding them this propaganda of, hey, this is how you can make more money, and we're gonna help you with it. Don't worry about what we're doing on the backside of things. We're gonna help you. This is our way of helping you thrive and make more money to be a part of our series. And in reality, I mean, it's an absolute dictatorship on what NASCAR sees is best for their sport, and they're gonna take every measure uh, to follow that path. There's no benefit at all. In fact, all it does is just empower NASCAR more. And it's going to create such a bad product because of the picture that they want to paint. It's it's just asinine to me that people are buying into this. Really.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back to the inception of the charters, right? Why do we have charters? Because of people like Joe Gibbs, Roger Penske, Rick Hendrick wanted their teams to have more value than they were. And now they've basically, in turn, kind of monopolized the bigger teams as well. And in another way, and NASCAR is now going to monopolize their sport by owning all the tracks. I mean, it's just the charter system's such a backwards thing. If none of them would have signed it and NASCAR just took the charters away tomorrow, that would have been the most ideal growth and health
We're
of
gonna win.
NASCAR. Yeah. But they signed it because not only, like, I see what you're saying, not only, but it's also the other teams that kind of screwed 2311 here too. Because they're greedy enough where they're just going to take the deal regardless because this is what they wanted originally. And that's why the charter system in 2015 got implemented. You know what I mean? So it's like not only is like 2311 getting screwed by NASCAR, they're also getting screwed by the other teams. like
Yeah, but
it's
even
so
some of the
dumb.
other teams came out and said that they were scared not to sign it. They said we did not have the balls of 2311 and Front Row to do what they did.
Yeah, but to be fair,
That's
they
a
were the
problem.
ones that wanted to sign it to begin with in 2015 to start the whole damn thing. They are the ones
Well,
that started this whole roller coaster of
let's
chain
be
of
honest
events of
though.
bullshit.
Right, but let's be honest. Change it should always be embraced, right? It should always be embraced to a point where, hey, we're kind of struggling in this area. Let's change something and see if it works. But if it doesn't work, then what do? You take it, you bring it back, take it away.
Yeah.
That path did not work. You gotta pivot. You gotta readjust, and see the flaws and make the flaws no more. Take that different path, pivot, and make your sport better. It's okay to make mistakes, right? As long as you correct yourself.
Right. Well, and another thing that I've always thought about the charter system too is you got to value every charter individually based upon performance. Like each chart, like the number one charter that wins the championship should have more value than the charter that finishes 36th in points. I mean, just
Yeah,
like you could buy the Utah Jazz or the LA Lakers. Which one's going to cost you more money? It's going to be the LA Lakers. You know, if it's prestige, it's the championships, it's the winning pedigree, it's the market, you know what I mean? Like you can't like that's part of my issue too, is why are all the charters being paid the same amount when some charters outperform other charters? And it's completely evident. That creates no, and especially with the spec car, it creates no ingenuity, it creates no wanting to get better. Like you could just get a charter and just show up every week and race like Rick Ware does, basically. Like you don't see any improvement from them, and they've been around forever, and they're still making the same amount of money as another team that's actually trying. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of weird back things with this charter, bass backwards things with this charter system, and I'm scared for IndyCar, dude. Like I'm really worried that IndyCar is gonna be like this in 5-6 years when the next charter agreement comes up with for the IndyCar series. It's gonna be an absolute shit show, ruining sports. We've seen what it's done to F1, not allowing new teams. If they're locked in at 20, you have to buy in if you want to get in. Like you see Toyota trying to invest in teams now, or with Haas, you know, not to get in as racing, but just as an investor because they're not gonna be able to go build their own team if they wanted to. It's just crazy, crazy
whatever.
stuff. Yeah. So that's the drama there with the 2311 front row. No charters in 2025 as of now. We'll see if that changes over the next few months. We'll keep you guys informed on this ever evolving charter drama in NASCAR as stuff keeps coming out. Last thing I want to talk about here, though, Tom. We got some test result sheets back from the Indy NXT test at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And guess who was the fastest car in town?
That's all you, brother.
Well, I'll tell you who the slowest car in town was. That was that 38 machine from HMD. You guys can fill in the blanks on which driver was driving that car. But 2 seconds off pace.
Slap a 38 on it, baby.
Oh man, I was super excited for this upcoming NXT season until this announcement, and now I'm actually starting to get more excited again. The more that I see stuff coming out, and the more hype around it.
What do you think's gonna happen on all the street courses?
Oh God. Oh,
did you even think about that,
dude?
Because I didn't until now.
It's gonna be so bad, man. Oh, this is gonna be so bad, dude. I don't even know what to say. This is just gonna be a colossal failure. I mean, yeah. To be racing for HMD, which is, again, to reiterate, this is like the Hendrick Motorsports of the damn NXT series. To see those lap times. My God, we're in for a long one. Oh, man. Like I said, I think we talked about it last week. She started too high up in the pecking order, dude. She needed to go lower and start lower. Like, where's the USF Pro 2000s? Why didn't she run that for a year? Then NXT. Like, go through the progression. Like, you don't go to the start in Xfinity. You start ARCA trucks. I mean, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But whatever. We'll see how that all plays out. We'll keep you guys informed. We're going to do, during the offseason, we'll do an IndyCar, Indy NXT season preview video or podcast like we did last year, and we'll go in depth with that more. But I just wanted to bring that up, noteworthy talking point here tonight. Oh man. Alrighty. Where should we start? Let's start with the F1 sprint race on Saturday. For the United States Grand Prix weekend there at COTA. Verstappen on pole. Who saw that coming? I didn't see Red Bull having the pace this weekend at all. They've been struggling. They start on pole. Great job by them. Um, he ends up going on to win the race. We'll just get that out of the way. But let's talk about that battle between Sainz and Leclerc there throughout the middle part of this race. That was fun to watch, man. Like that was some good racing right there between the Ferraris. I think I texted you maybe it was yet on Sunday, maybe it was Saturday, I can't remember, but damn, isn't this typical Ferrari, dude?
Oh,
Showing up
so
at the end of the
typical.
year.
Man, it's honestly, it's to be a Ferrari, or to be employed by Ferrari right now, and maybe you've been there for 10 plus years or whatever. It's got to be so disheartening, man. Like seriously, it's every year. It's just, I don't get it how you can be sane with yourself. I mean, you come out, you have pretty dang good cars, and by the fourth, fifth, sixth race of the season, dog water. And then with what, 5 races ago, something
Yeah.
like 5 races,
Yeah.
you're kicking ass again. I mean, it's gotta be so disheartening, man. Seriously, it's just, I feel for those guys.
They basically race themselves out of the championship every year, dude, by the summer months.
Every year.
And then they make a resurgence late like they did last year. I mean, in the year before, it's like,
and the year before, and Raikkonen is a freaking unicorn, and then you have Fernando and Massa and all this other guy. It's been the same thing since Michael Schumacher left Ferrari.
yeah.
How much more do you need until you find yourself doing the same thing over and over and over again, but you're expecting different results? What is that, Jay?
That's insanity.
Insanity. It's insanity.
Oh man. But yeah, that was a fun battle there for the podium positions there in the sprint race. That was fun to watch. And then Sainz did end up battling with Lando Norris at the end of the race, and Lando Norris locks up into turn 1, loses the position to Sainz, almost loses another position to Leclerc, like bleeding points in this ever-evolving championship battle with Verstappen, where the Red Bulls look pedestrian, the McLarens are the best car on the grid, and Lando can't do it. He can't do it. He is the most mid driver in the best equipment. I mean, what's the comparison here? I mean, there is none. He is so freaking mid.
Let's base it with this, okay? Daniel Ricciardo won a race in a McLaren before Lando Norris, and he still got kicked.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And everybody's still on this hype train about can't go Lando, and it's beyond me. I mean, this is the same level of insanity that we see with other drivers like Haley Deegan.
Yes.
We're there. We are
Chase
there.
Elliott, even.
Chase Elliott. I mean, that's a better example.
Yeah.
It's Chase Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's at least Lewis Hamilton won races. I mean, you hate to see it, but I mean, he still won races. He had the best car and was absolutely dominant for 7 years. Just
and Lando is the most dominant car, and he can't even win. I mean, what, 2 wins this year is embarrassing with the speed of those McLarens. I mean, Piastri's same amount of wins as him, and Piastri's only been around for a year and a half. A year and a half. Oh my god, dude. They just can't. And all those McLaren fans, man, that are they're everywhere. They're a freaking disease, bro. They just find themselves into all these freaking places, dude, and they're so annoying, man. They're so, like, I used to think it was the Lulu fans and the Mercedes fans. They're still bad, but I think the McLaren fans and the Lando fans are starting to take the forefront here as the most annoying fans on the internet.
I thoroughly enjoyed that one fan's reaction, that one McLaren fan's reaction.
He's like,
when Lando got around Max Verstappen, and he's sitting there, he's like, yeah, and then like
his wife was like,
a lap later, yeah. Like a lap later, he gets his 5-second penalty, and it's just poetic justice.
Oh, that was so great. I can't wait to talk about that more in depth. But um, yeah, so Lando ends up P3, Sainz gets by him P2. Verstappen with the fast lap. So not only did Verstappen win the race, got the fast lap bonus point as well. So that opens up the gap for him over Norris. Um, and then let's talk about that Tsunoda Perez battle there towards the end of this race. That was like one of the. It was more than just a battle on track, is the way I watched it and saw it unfold. It was almost like a battle for Perez trying to save his career versus Tsunoda trying to take it from him. It just felt that way. I don't know if you felt the same way watching it, but that's the
It
vibe
did.
I got, and it was freaking entertaining as hell to watch that. I don't think I've ever seen Perez try that hard in my life.
To me, honestly, Jay, it was cringy. It was so
It was
cringe.
cringy.
Yeah, because you see Perez's desperation in his driving style against Tsunoda. And it's almost like Tsunoda was just like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just, like, leave me. It's like that one bully in grade school that kept, like, fucking pulling out your hair or flicking your ear or something. It's just like, dude, get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I sincerely felt that, like, vibe in the air, you know, where it was just like, what is going on here? I can't believe I'm even witnessing this. You know? Like, should Tsunoda have that seat? Abso-freaking-lutely he should. And should Perez have a job? No, he shouldn't. But here we are at COTA, where the RB LOL DTF LMAO team is going against freaking the Red Bull parent team of God Verstappen, and you know it's just like the sister team is just sitting there kicking his ass. Liam Lawson scored points.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that. Liam Lawson and Canapino this weekend really impressed me. Colapinto. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, dude, that's a great way to say it. Desperation.
It was so cringy to me, to be honest.
It was just like, and the way that the broadcast just keyed in on it. I mean, yeah, I could see the cringe part to that. It felt so desperate and so
Yeah,
it just was so desperate. I mean, it was crazy. I've not like I said, I don't think I've seen Perez drive that hard in the last 2 years, dude. Like that was he was digging, man. He was so desperately driving that race car to stay in front.
Did you see him out of the car too?
Oh,
like
I
he
did
had
not
Niagara
see
Falls coming off of his face. Like you could tell that dude's been sitting on the couch eating marshmallows for the past 2 years. And here's Tsunoda actually getting his shot, you know, through circumstance with a terrible car. And Tsunoda, when he got out of the car, he was just like he, you know, just jumped in the car. It's like it was a breeze for him. But for Perez, it was like, you know, good lord, I actually had to do something.
It's like when the master hands it off to the Padawan, but you can't even say that Perez is a master of anything. He's what do they call it?
Sucking.
Yeah, the master's like what do they call it? The jack of all trades, not proficient in anything or whatever that saying is. That's funny. Or good at or mediocre at all, great at nothing. Oh man, but yeah. So Verstappen ends up extending the points lead after the sprint race. Great job by him. I mean, the Red Bulls, that speed out of Verstappen just absolutely came out of nowhere. I was shocked. I wasn't really shocked about Ferrari though. I think we even said it like maybe 2 podcasts ago or maybe 3 ago. We're like, Ferrari's gonna turn up at the end of this season. Just watch.
Yep, just wait.
It's gonna happen.
It's classic Ferrari. They do it every freaking year. Every year. And I've been watching since like, I don't know, 2010. Right after Jenson Button's crazy Braun GP run.
Oh yeah.
And or right before actually, which was 2009. And it's the same Ferrari. It's Ferrari every freaking year. Every year.
It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. Yeah, we'll talk more about the F1 Grand Prix here after we talk about the Xfinity race, because I do really want to talk about this Xfinity race. I really enjoyed it. Vegas, Xfinity cars, what a great match. Brandon Jones qualifies on pole. Custer and Allgaier win both stages, which was key for those playoff drivers there. Restart crash with a stack up on a restart there is stage 2. Taylor Gray ends up getting involved, goes in the back into the wall. Just typical Xfinity stuff right there, playing games on restarts. That was funny. But I want to talk about Ryan Sieg. Tom, I kind of doubted what you said on the podcast last week. I was like,
I freaking knew it, dude. You know what? The night of, it was like 6 o'clock. I was like, you know what? I have a good freaking feeling, man. I've got a great feeling. I went on to what's it called, FanDuel, something like that.
yeah.
I forget. I put $50 on Sieg,
Oh man.
and it was like 500 to 1 odds. I don't even, whatever the math is, I didn't even look at it. I was like, I don't know, I'm not even going to worry about it because I've got a good feeling. You know? God damn.
He was so close, man. But yeah, he freaking was fast all day long. I mean, ran top 5, top 10 all day long. And then by the end of the race, when the nighttime transition hit, that car came alive, dude. Absolutely on freaking rails. Allmendinger was leading there late in the race in a basically, in my and Tom's opinion, I don't know if you agree with this, but I felt like that was a must-win for Allmendinger. I really do. If he was going to make the championship 4, that was a must-win. I just don't. He hasn't had the pace, I feel like, on most weeks. He's been a top 10 car at best. I feel like Colleague's really not been that good in Xfinity this year. This was kind of like a shoot your load or miss type moment here for Allmendinger, and was leading this race late. Sieg puts on an absolute valiant charge there late in this race, battling. What was it with like 7 or 8 to go? He ends up shooting to the inside in 3 and 4. It's a little bit loose there, loses that gap. It looked like it might be over. Unfortunately, we had a caution with Sammy Smith stalling, so we didn't really get to see him have another chance to fight back, which I think, if this stays green there, do you think Sieg wins that race? I personally do. I think he rebounds and gets back by him.
Here was my argument with that is, I mean, obviously you saw how bad that car performed behind another car. He needed Allmendinger to make a mistake, and I sincerely do not believe that Allmendinger was going to make a mistake. Allmendinger was on a different level that night, and even with the equipment, which typically, I mean, in the past, Colleague has had some great equipment, and it seems like this year just might be one of those oddball years. Which, I mean, if you look at it on paper, it's not an oddball year, because he's going to the Final Four now, but all I'm saying is I feel like Allmendinger was on a different level no matter what scenario you put him in. He was going to win that race because Ryan Sieg couldn't handle a restart anyways. We saw that on the restart previous. Yeah. Maybe who was it?
It was his brother,
Chandler Smith. No, who was behind him? I think it was Chandler Smith.
Chandler Smith, yeah.
Chandler Smith may have been able to get a good restart, but even he was having restart issues. So I mean, I sincerely think this was AJ Allmendinger's race. Towards the end of the race there. I just think he was on a different level that night.
Yeah, I mean, that was we haven't seen that AJ Allmendinger since this year Centric was in the championship 4 when he lost to Hemrick. That was the year where Allmendinger dominated that year, and yeah, we haven't seen that in a while. And it looked he looked like a championship champion. I mean, he drove like a champion in that race, and
he looked like Allmendinger.
Yeah, it's true, he did 100%. I mean, honestly, I would have liked to see that race finish out 7 to go without that caution with Sammy Smith. I would have liked to not see that overtime restart, but I don't know, man. There was some about Sieg in that race, man. It felt like what it reminded me is of Kyle Busch at Daytona a couple weeks ago for the playoff race, where Kyle Busch had everything fall his way. It felt like that for Sieg, and he just made that one mistake. Super unfortunate. Sieg's time is coming, dude. He's going to win a race so freaking soon, man. Maybe not this year because we're running out of opportunities, but I think I think if he wins one, he's gonna win a lot, man. I think he'll win a lot.
I think you got to watch out for him in Homestead.
Oh, I agree, 100%. I would put him as like I don't even think I could even pick him as a dark horse, and we'll get to that later in the podcast. But you're right, dude. I mean, he is definitely someone to watch this weekend at Homestead. That locks Allmendinger into the playoffs. We could take a quick look at these standings real quick. Let me pull those up. I kind of didn't prepare enough, I guess. So we'll go standings, Xfinity. So this locks in Allmendinger, obviously, to the championship 4. So then when it gets to the rest of them, Allgaier plus 32, Custer plus 16, Chandler plus 8. I mean, if you're looking at the 4 in right now, I mean, that's your championship 4. Those have been the best 4 drivers all year. So, I mean, there it is. I mean, I think that's going to be your championship 4. Unless one of those guys have a colossal failure in the last 2 races, I think that's your championship 4. Sammy Smith, 53 back. I think he's done. Sam Mayer, I predicted him to make the championship 4 over Allmendinger. That was my other one to get in. But with Allmendinger winning, I think that eliminates him too. I mean, interesting. The speed of Allgaier, I mean, he's really turned up this round so far. I mean, can he keep the momentum rolling in Homestead? That's yet to be seen. I don't know. And then obviously Martinsville. Anything can happen there. So, is there anything else you want to add to the Xfinity race? Anything I might have missed?
The premier oval stock car racing series in North America.
Facts. God, I love it. I love it, man. Xfinity is so great, man. And by the way, Xfinity series, I got it scheduled on the channel now. Like we mentioned, the triple header watch parties Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the championship race for Trucks Xfinity Cup. I got those all scheduled now on the channel, so make sure you guys go turn on your notifications and get ready because that is going to be a lot of fun. 3 straight days of championship battles being decided. We've got 3 of the 12 locked in now. We got Allmendinger, Enfinger, obviously at Talladega, and then obviously Logano, which we'll talk about here in a minute with the Cup race. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who are the next 9 to get locked in over the next 2 weeks here at the championship? It's kind of crazy that in 4 races you go from 8 to 1. Like it's kind of, like the first 6 weeks of the playoffs, it's like you're just eliminating like a couple people at a time. Or I guess in 5 weeks you go from 12 to 1. It's kind of crazy. But, all right. Next, we'll talk about the F1 United States Grand Prix at COTA. Let's talk about Can't Go Lando, qualified on pole, loses the lead. And not only loses the lead into turn 1, he falls all the way back to 4th place off of the first corner. What was it? Him and Verstappen side by side into 1. He runs a little wide, doesn't get a good restart to begin with. I mean, put himself in that situation by not taking off at the line. Verstappen was to the inside, had basically a wheel on him. They run a little wide in 1. And then Leclerc goes by. Sainz did not go by. Sainz falls in at P3. But Lando, Can't Go Lando choke job continues again in the Grand Prix. What is he doing, man? Why can't Lando Norris start at all? Why can't he go? I mean, this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I mean, championship battle. He's had Zach Brown publicly go out and say, we are no longer doing team orders here at McLaren for the rest of the year. We are selling all out for this world championship for Lando. And he is completely just shitting on it, dude.
I think what needs to happen, I see it a lot here in Georgia. I know it worked, okay? I think what we need to do is put a disabled tag on that McLaren to let others know that he is disabled from the neck up.
I love it, dude. He might get preferred parking. Who knows? It might have worked out.
Preferred parking in turn 1 gravel trap.
I mean, what an absolute colossal failure of a weekend for Lando. Not only chokes away the sprint race, he chokes away lap 1, turn 1. The same thing we've talked about all year long. Can't go Lando. Can't go on a restart. You can't do it. Loses multiple positions, really eliminates himself from a chance to win this race. Ferrari goes on to win this race. Great job by Ferrari. I think, what did they finish? 1-2 with Leclerc and Sainz. So great. Ferrari doing a great job. We'll talk about the points here in a minute. Claiming this win. That's Leclerc's 3rd win of the season. So my bold prediction on Leclerc hit hard this year, man, for sure. I mean, he's got 3 wins. I predicted he'd get at least 2. So that's pretty sweet. My one bold prediction with Ferrari winning the Constructors' Championship, it was a bold prediction for a reason, because obviously we know Ferrari's trends over the last 20 years, but yeah, maybe that's not out of the question. But and then Verstappen and Norris, the battle late. This was the most entertaining part of the race. Verstappen in an absolute dump truck, like obviously way underpowered compared to the McLaren, completely driving off of pure driver talent, refusing to be passed by Lando Norris. And what was it in turn 9, 12? Makes that dive bomb to the inside of Norris. Norris had gotten by him. Verstappen wasn't done fight. He fights back. He's sent it to the inside of Norris. It makes the move. Lando completely tries to. They both basically try to play cat and mouse on the brakes into turn 12. Lando goes wide, off track. Doesn't have the position. Ends up getting the 5-second penalty. But I think the biggest thing to note here, Tom, is how many laps did it take Norris behind Verstappen to finally pass Verstappen? I mean, that is embarrassing, man.
And the amount of ERS he was using too, and he had DRS
every straight.
And Verstappen was using 20% of his battery, while Lando was using 50% of his battery with DRS. That's how insane Max Verstappen is. He is just a completely different level of absolute alien. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, if you guys didn't see that on during that race, it was just so freaking beautiful. It was a beautiful symphony of on-track battle that just was so, like, purely choreographed between two cars on. I mean, it was just beautiful. It really was. Yeah, and then Lando tripped on his appendage again.
Oh man, yep, gets the penalty. He overdrives the corner, goes off track. Verstappen's calling for it. Everybody's calling for it. And then they give us that, like Tom said, we get that screenshot or that frame cut to the Lando McLaren fans doing their little dance and celebration. I mean, that was funny. Gets the 5-second penalty, loses P3, loses the podium, loses more points to Verstappen. I mean, he's been cutting this lead down for weeks, and he just basically gives it back up. I mean, with the amount of races left in the season, I mean, this World Championship is looking like it's falling back in favor of Red Bull. I mean, with Verstappen, and it's purely not going to be because of car. It's purely because of Max Verstappen. Like Tom says, alien, dude. I mean, what a drive. Like, if he goes on to win this World Championship, we're going to look back at this race and be like, or this race weekend and be like, wow, Verstappen really mitigated damage and was able to not only out duel Lando Norris, but do it with an absolutely under-advantaged car. Unbelievable drive. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Max Verstappen is him.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It is him. There is no other Max Verstappen. Sorry, Hung Money, but you're not it.
I agree. Not it. Yeah, that was such an awesome race. I really enjoyed it. The end of that race was thrilling. The theatrics with the Lando Norris stuff. Rest in peace. I'm sure the McLaren fans are going to be bitching and complaining and whining about that. I've seen a little bit of it. Look, folks, like I saw some of them were complaining that Verstappen, you shouldn't be racing Lando that hard. Like, come on, dude.
Some people's kids.
Some people are just so ridiculous. That's what we pay to watch, or that's what we watch this stuff for, man. It's for the race and the battles. Like, you think Verstappen's just gonna roll over to his championship contender just because he's got a slower car? Like, yo, he's not there to do
that. Yes. I'm just kidding.
Oh man. And then yeah. So 1-2 for Ferrari. Leclerc wins. Sainz P2. Verstappen P3. Norris did fall back to P4. So the standings after this weekend's Grand Prix weekend: Verstappen 354 points. He's ahead of Lando Norris by 57 now, and then Leclerc by 79. And then in the constructors, McLaren's up by 40 over Red Bull and 48 over Ferrari. I think Ferrari still has an outside chance to win this constructors championship, man. I think there's an opportunity, man. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I mean, Red Bull's cooked. I mean, with the way Perez drives, I mean, they're cooked.
Yeah, they're done. You're done.
Alrighty. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or anything I missed?
Yeah, I want to talk about Hung Money Jr. Hamilton coming off of the second to last corner. Just absolutely flying those Pastor Maldonado colors, baby.
I should have put this one on. I might have to put this one in on Bonehead of the Week. I completely spaced this. Like, I completely spaced it. Yeah, we might have to put that one in. But yeah, dude, that was funny, man. God, dude, that was just funny, dude. I don't even know what else to say about that. That was just freaking comical, man. Oh man,
I don't know what to say. I mean,
I think him and Ferrari are gonna be a good fit, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a great
let's
fit.
yeah, let's combine the worst strategy team with the man who can just absolutely either make or break the next 4 seasons.
Oh man, it's gonna be so funny to see these Ferrari fans cheering on Lewis Hamilton when they've just
It
been
is.
hating him for years
It
and
is.
years, dude. It's next year is gonna be such a thrill in Formula One, dude. I'm so excited. Oh man. Alrighty. All right. Let's talk about the last race of the weekend, the Cup Series race, the South Point 400 at Vegas, the first race of the round of 8 in the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Christopher Bell qualifies on pole. I do want to talk about the lap 63 caution with Daniel Hemrick absolutely bulldozing his way through Austin Dillon, bro. What was that, dude? What was that? That was,
Brother, who freaking knows?
oh man.
Who freaking knows?
I can't believe it, dude. This guy should have never been in the Cup Series to begin with. I mean, absolute disgrace. I mean, Daniel Hemrick is an absolute. I mean, I guess I've always said there was like 2 drivers that could never win in the Cup Series, and I always said it was Burton and LaJoy. I Burton obviously proved me wrong there. I think you definitely have to put Hemrick in that list. I don't think Hemrick could win his way out of a paper bag. I mean, that was just. I'm gonna nominate him for Bonehead of the Week. I mean, I don't even know what that was. I wish I would love to see the SMT data on that because that is just freaking hilarious. Dude. He just absolutely ran him over. Oh man. Reddick goes on to win stage 1. Big stage for him. Let's talk about the restart on lap 89. This Tyler Reddick on the outside, Martin Truex Jr. on the inside, Elliott in the middle. Truex coming off of turn 4, maybe runs Elliott up a little bit. Reddick up against the wall. Reddick goes sideways, collects Elliott, collects Truex, not Truex, collects Keselowski, and then Blaney, an innocent victim in this whole ordeal. And then, again, this crappy car with all that aero on the underbody. Reddick's car goes upside down again. Another car goes upside down. I mean, is somebody going to figure it out? Somebody going to learn what the issue is here? You basically created a wing on the bottom of this car. I mean, what are your thoughts on this whole incident and Reddick wrecking, Blaney collected Elliott, Truex? I mean,
Oh, you
who's at
want to know what
fault?
happens when you give NASCAR too much power? Bad racing.
Oh man. Oh man. This is why I did not expect Elliott or Reddick to make the championship 4, man. What an absolute bomb that they both threw out there, man. Poor Blaney though. I mean, look at Blaney, man. Poor Blaney gets screwed again, dude.
Yeah, and you still can't convince me that NASCAR cares about safety.
Not one
convince me.
bit. Not one bit.
Can't.
I mean, I think this eliminates Reddick. I don't think Reddick recovers from this.
I think the only chance he has is Homestead.
Dude, he sucks
gotta
at
win
short
Homestead.
tracks. Yeah, if he goes Martinsville down, he's not making it, dude. He's done. He's cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, Elliott can still find his way out and win. I mean, but he hasn't shown
He could
it all
maybe
year.
win Martinsville. Maybe.
Yeah, but he hasn't
That's
shown
a big
it all
maybe,
year.
but exactly. But I don't think he has a chance at Homestead. He's got to pull something out freaking crazy, man. He's got to have his teams push him across the line or something.
Yeah, dude, everybody's gonna have to get disqualified in front of him. Just watch that be the way Elliott gets into the playoffs. So somebody gets freaking disqualified in the final race and gets freaking moved in, like what happened to Bowman. Yeah. So that major wreck incident that put Elliott out of the race, Reddick out of the race. That also put Blaney multiple laps down. Super unfortunate for him. And then stage 2, we had a pit issue during green flag stops with Larson. I mean, Hung Money. Not only does he choke it, his team finds a way to choke it too. So. That was, I mean, obviously the big points gap, it didn't really hurt him in the grand scheme of things, but it took him out of contention to potentially win this race. Bell ends up winning stage 2. Bell, the dominant car of the day. What did we say, man? Last week on the podcast, Bell was going to win this race. That was both of our prediction. Bell was going to win. And what did we say, dude? We said if Bell does not win this race, Logano's gonna win this race, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But damn, dude, we freaking have that one spot on. Hamlin, more pit issues again. This is a reason I didn't expect him to make it out of this round. That team has looked absolutely pedestrian since the playoffs have started. That 45 and 11 were probably the two best cars in the regular season. Fell apart in the playoffs. Completely fell off a cliff. It reminds me of Truex. What year was it? The year that they put the wrong tires on the wrong side of the car in the championship race?
18?
Where he squeaked through the playoffs the whole way, had terrible rounds. And then in the championship race, they're leading. And the final pit stop of the day, they put the freaking right side tires on the left side of the car and the left side tires on the side of the car.
Knowing what we know now about NASCAR, though, do you think that was a paid move?
Oh, it had to have been paid actors, dude. There's no way, dude. There's no way you
paid actors.
Hard. Oh, man.
It's gotta be.
Dude, there's got to be paid actors on the 11 and 45 with the lawsuits going on, the no charges, 23-11, Denny Hamlin. It makes sense, dude. It makes perfect sense. Throw the
Prove me wrong.
On. But
Prove me wrong.
Paid actors. Oh, man. Caution was 75 to go. This was when Gibbs and Larson were battling for that free pass position. Gibbs just ran out of talent there. Super unfortunate. That got Larson back on the lead lap, kind of salvaged his day. But then from there, it was a green flag race to the end. We had, what was it? Bell, Bowman, Byron, I think were your top three there. They decided, we're going to pit here. We're going to pit towards the end of this race. They didn't want to have to save fuel to the end. They decided to make a pit stop, put on fresh tires, which in the grand scheme of things, I thought it was kind of stupid, to be honest with you, with them pitting there at the end. Just because we know tires don't mean anything to begin with. I mean, what was the difference between the old tire? So this is what I'm talking about. Flores, Logano were the leading two cars on the alternate strategy. Bell on fresh tires, with them saving fuel, by the way. They were not using brakes. They were coasting in the corners. Off pace, those new tires, with them fuel saving, was only 1 second advantage. Was it worth the pit stop? In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't. They sold the race. They 100% sold the race. I mean, I can understand Bowman doing it because he's not in the playoffs, but Bell and Byron, I don't understand why they did that. It made no sense to me. But that puts Suarez in the lead, and then I guess the controversy, there's some people bitching about it because Blaney and Logano were working together at the end. I don't know if it's just me, but was Blaney even pushing him, dude? It didn't even look like he even touched his back bumper, dude.
He helped them for a couple laps there. Let's just, I'm going to say yes, he did help him, but you got a freaking teammate right there. Use him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
What's the problem? That's part of competition, baby. You got people who are outsmarting you, using their teammates to win the damn race, to go into the final four. What do you got a problem with? I'm taking the stance there. I took the stance of Austin Dillon doing what he had to do to get himself into the championships. That's what it is.
Doing what Chastain had to do. I mean, there's just so many examples of you just do what you got to do.
The precedence is there and set by the higher ups, and they took full advantage of it. I got to give it to him.
Yeah, I really thought Suarez was going to win that race. He had like, what, a 2.5, 3 second gap over Logano. Fuel saving. I thought Suarez was going to steal this win. I'm not going to lie. And then when I saw Logano starting to turn it up there at the end, I was like, oh, he's definitely going to make it on fuel. He wouldn't be going this fast if he wasn't going to make it on fuel. And he did. He made it on fuel. The Fords get the best fuel mileage in the Cup Series. I don't know what they're doing engine tuning wise, but God, do those Fords get good fuel mileage. And then when he got by him with 6 to go, it was like, can Bell get there? And I think it was with about 4 laps to go, I came to the realization Bell is not winning this race. I was like, he's just not winning. And then I started to have a flashback back to Tuesday, and I was like, I remember when me and Tom were talking that Bell was going to win this race, and if he didn't, by some random freaking thing, that Logano was going to win. And it freaking played out to a T. Like, we were just like freaking Nostradamus when it comes to this crap, man. This isn't how I expected it to happen. I would have thought it would have been like some late race restart where Logano stayed out on old tires because everybody was stupid enough to pit and he was going to end up winning the race, and steal it from Bell. No, it happened. Well, it did happen that way, but not by a late race caution. It happened through a freaking fuel mileage race. What a damn good race. I think this is one of the top I think I would probably put this number 2 or 3 behind. Obviously, Bristol was amazing, and I think Daytona, the second Daytona, was a freaking amazing race. I would probably put this number 3 on the list of best races this year so far.
Yeah, the finish there was just absolutely thrilling. That is the type of race that you love to see it. It's the perfect length. It's the perfect fit an actually horrible car. But in the end, look, it all works out. You do a little bit of homework on race distance and what these cars can do, and surprise, the race is great.
Yeah. It was a great. I was just worried there at the end. I think I texted you too during the end of that race of like maybe 20, 30 laps to go. I was like, I hope that this doesn't get ruined by a caution or something to that effect. Cause I was just waiting for LaJoy to just absolutely eat the wall and end this amazing fuel mileage strategy race. Oh, but it didn't happen, man. We got to see it play out to the end, and damn, dude, the disappointment on Christopher Bell. I still think Bell's gonna win the championship. Everybody, calm down. Bell's still gonna win this championship. But damn, dude, the disappointment in Bell's face when he lost this race, dude. I think it just drives him to get even hungrier, dude. I think that we're seeing prime C Bell right now, man. This is prime C Bell at its finest. You just got to find a way to close him. And I think that this is one that they're gonna look back on over the next couple weeks. They're gonna go out and perform. Obviously, they're gonna perform extremely well at Homestead. I think he's gonna be one of the favorites to win that race as well. I think he'll perform extremely well at Martinsville as well. And then we know how good that he is at Phoenix. I mean, he has been the Phoenix king basically since he started NASCAR. I think he's won a truck race there, maybe multiple truck races there. He's won an Xfinity race there. He's won a cup race there as well. So I think Bell is definitely your championship front runner. And what do we always say, Tom? What's the big moniker around here at the channel? You got to lose one to win one. Well, he's lost 2 now. I mean, you can't lose 3. So I think this is the year.
Yeah.
All right, championship 4 lock. Joey Logano. He did it. The luckiest man on planet Earth. Gets kind of, by a technicality, gets thrust into the championship 4 or 8, and then into the championship 4. And we predicted it to basically a T. We said Bell was going to win this race unless some fluke shit happens, and that's exactly what happened. Oh, man. Our championship 4 picks are looking pretty good, minus Blaney. But Blaney's got 2 very favorable tracks coming up. He's in a must-win situation. We'll talk about the points. He's in a must-win. Elliott, I think, is in a must-win. Reddick and Hamlin, they're both in must-wins as well. I mean, 27-30 out, dude, with the way that they've been performing in these playoffs, that's a must-win in my opinion. I just don't see them crawling out of it. Really, I think the battle's between Bell, Larson, and Byron for new winners, right? They just got to stay as high up in the points as they can, so that if we do get these Elliott random win, or maybe we get a Reddick random win, which I don't see happening, or a Hamlin, like they got to stay up in the points so that they don't get eliminated that way. Are you comfortable, I guess, with a 27-point lead if you're Byron? I guess with hung money, I mean, nothing's comfortable for hung money.
No, not at all. He can't be comfortable with leads like that, especially going into these next few races where, I mean, Homestead could absolutely be one of those races where, a tragedy strikes again. And then you go into Martinsville where it's almost a crapshoot anymore. I mean, you just don't know, man. You got to get those stage points. You got to get the good finish. Going into Martinsville, if you haven't locked yourself in, that is a hard position to be in.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest, I guess my one sadness or depression that kicked in again at watching this race, and it freaking stings, but freaking Bowman, man. If he didn't get eliminated, dude, this man is on a freaking tear, dude. He finishes top 4 or 5 again, dude. Like, gets stage point. Like, dude, Bowman would make this championship 4 if he was in it. That stinks, man. So all the doubters and haters, dude. I mean, he would have made it. He would have made the championship 4 with the pace that he's got, dude. It's just crazy, dude, to think that technicality happened. That sucks, but that's racing, man. That's why we watch. That's why we're entertained, and that happens. So it's always next year, right? I'm just gonna adopt the Haley Deegan fan. It's always next week. It's always next year. It's everybody else's fault. Oh man, is there anything else you want to add to this race? I mean, or this race weekend? Anything I might have missed throughout any of this stuff that you want to talk about before we jump into the next segments here?
Um, no, not really. I don't.
Alrighty. Drivers of the week, Ryan Sieg, P2 in the Xfinity Series. Fantastic job. Yeah, I gotta give him a shout out. I mean, he was so freaking close. I'm also gonna nominate Franco Calapito as well. We didn't even talk about it, but scoring points, man. Not only scoring that final point, but damn, man, he makes Logan Sargent look terrible, dude. Like, look
He
at him.
makes Alexander Albon
Albon
look
looked
bad.
terrible. I know. What did we say when he came in? We didn't expect a damn thing out of this
No,
guy. I mean, what did he
no,
do in F3 and F2? Nothing, bro. He was
nothing.
nothing. He has nothing to say. And then he comes in F1 and he's setting the world on fire, dude. Good
Yep.
stuff, man. Big time drive. And then I'm also going to nominate John Hunter Nemechek. Yes, he was on that same kind of strategy Suarez and Logano were on, but he died for Legacy Motor Club. They needed a good run, and he got one this weekend at Vegas. Boneheads of the week, obviously can't go. Lando Norris is going to be nominated for the weekend choke job of a lifetime. Daniel Hemrick for that absolutely dump move on Austin Dillon. And then, you know what? I was going to put Martin Truex Jr., but you know what? This guy deserves it more than anybody. We're going with the old Lulu himself. Lewis Hamilton, absolute running out of talent.
Rip.
That deserves a nomination. All right. Yeah, moving over point standings. Let's go over. Let's preview the races this weekend, Tom. We got the Trucks Xfinity Cup at Homestead for the second race of the rounds of 8 from all 3 of those series, as well as the F1 Mexican Grand Prix. Truck Series notable entries: William Swalich will be a Tricon number 1 truck, Marco Andretti in the number 04 Roper machine, Mosak in the number 7 Spire, Frankie Muniz is getting to start off early here with Rayon Brothers in the 22 machine. Old Cooter's behind the wheel of the 44 Nice machine this weekend. See how well he does.
How does he get this? How does he do this?
The Dollar General knee pads you gave him for
Dollar
his 12
General
days
knee
of Christmas
pads.
last year.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Connor Zilic will be behind the wheel of the number 75 Henderson machine. I like this move by Zilic. I like that he's driving the 75 Henderson. And then also Corey Day making another start with McAnally in the number 91 machine this weekend. Xfinity, William Swalich making his Xfinity Series in the number 9 JGR Toyota. Almirola behind the 20 JGR Toyota. Ryan Truex with Sam Hunt Racing this weekend in the 26 machine. And then Connor Zilic as well making double duty in the number 88 Junior Motorsports Xfinity ride. Cup Series Kaz Gralla with Rick Ware Racing the 15. Old Dinger in the number 16 Colleague machine. He's got to be feeling over the moon this weekend, man. No worries at all. He's just going to go run a race in Xfinity in the Cup and just have a good time this weekend. JJ Yaley, 44 for NY Racing, and then Chad Fincham for MBM in the 66. All right, first race of the weekend on Saturday, the Truck Series, Baptist Health 200 at Homestead. My pick this weekend, it's time. It's time. He's going to lock himself into the championship 4 this weekend. He has been the most dominant driver this weekend on 1.5 miles of the Truck Series. It's his time to punch his ticket to the championship 4 to go match Enfinger at Phoenix and keep my championship 4 predictions alive in the Truck Series. I think once he gets in, then all we need is Majeski and Eckes, and then I will have that nailed for the Truck Series this year. So Corey Heim will win this race this weekend. My dark horse, I'm gonna go with Corey Day. Maybe I'm a homer here. I really like Corey Day. I've seen him in person. He's just a freaking amazing race car driver. Maybe his NASCAR starts have not gone off to a very good solid start. I mean, reckon Andy Jesus doesn't really solidify much for me. It kind of disappointed in him for that. But what a better way to redeem yourself at a place like Homestead, a place where it's a driver's track and a driver's car. I think Corey Day could do something this weekend. I would expect him to maybe be in that top 15, maybe get his first top 10 in the Truck Series this weekend.
Yeah. I actually think Grant Enfinger is going to go back to back, and he's going to win at Homestead. Look, every time Enfinger goes to Homestead, he's stupid fast. I mean, it's just a track that he conforms to very well. I think that it's just one to steal away from one of his competitors that he may not want. So, I do think that he's going to be extremely fast. I think you're going to have to watch out for him. because at the end of the day, he's going to be up towards the front and he's going to be battling for that checkered flag. My dark horse, this is my homer. I'm going with Muniz and practicing with that Rome Brothers number 22 truck for next
year. Heck yeah, dude. I like it. I'm excited for this truck race, man. This is going to be a damn good race. Homestead and the trucks is just a good combo. I'm so glad that they do the race there. Especially now it's in the playoffs. Next year it's not, which is unfortunate. Homestead deserves a playoff spot. Deserves a championship spot, honestly. I think championship needs to go to Vegas or it needs to go to Homestead. One of those two tracks, in my opinion. But that's just neither here nor there. Yeah, I agree. I think it should be 2-year rotations or every year rotations. Screw it. Go Phoenix, Homestead, and then run Vegas. Just rotate the 3 tracks. That'd be awesome. Next will be the Xfinity Series on Saturday after the Truck Series race. The Credit One NASCAR Amex Credit Card 300. Xfinity with their wacky names, man. It continues on all the way to the end.
What is this?
Dude, their names are so freaking weird in the Xfinity Series all year long.
It's bad.
It's crazy. They just got any type of sponsor and every type of sponsor. But all right. Like I said with Corey Heim, I think with last week we came on this podcast and I confidently said Allgaier was not going to advance to the championship 4, but now here I am flip-flopping. I think with the performance that we saw out of Vegas with Allgaier, I think maybe he's getting back into that season prime that we saw, man. Like, he was so good all year long, was the most dominant driver, won all these stages, didn't have the race wins, and gets the playoffs and falls apart. But he finally got his mojo back. I think they're at Vegas, ran a great race, didn't win, but he was a top 5 car all day. I think he takes that same speed to Homestead, and I think he gets the win this weekend. I'm going to take Allgaier for the dub this weekend, and I think he's going to also lock himself in to that championship 4 along there with Allmendinger. Big weekend there for him. And then my dark horse, he's in a junior motorsports car. I mean, I don't even know if you could consider him a dark horse. He already won a race.
I was just going to ask, actually.
But I feel like, but he's not full time. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna go with Zilich, man. I'm a homer, man. I like Zilich a lot, dude. I think he's gonna do a great job in this race, and I'm gonna take him as my dark horse to the Xfinity Series race. I think those junior motorsports cars are gonna be super freaking fast this weekend.
Although I have Allgaier as my choice to win the championship for the Xfinity Series. This weekend, I sincerely believe, like what I believed in Texas, like what I believed at Vegas, Sieg is going to have another great run. And I think this is probably his last opportunity to try and get a race win this year. So I think Sieg's going to throw the book at it, coming to Homestead this weekend. And I think that he is going to be extremely fast, and you need to watch out for that 28 car now. So not driving the 39 for owner's points. But you absolutely need to put him on the map. I sincerely think that he is going speed this weekend. And then for my dark horse, I'm not straying. I'm doing the same as Jay. I'm doing Zilich. An absolute generational talent. Good luck at Xfinity Field. I mean, you're looking at the next. It's going to be rough. You're looking at the next Lewis Hamilton of F1 for the Xfinity Series. So enjoy it while you can.
Heck yeah. All right. Next is the Formula One Mexican Grand Prix. I was going to take the best race car driver in the world, but obviously she's got prior obligations, so she can't make it. So I'm going to go with can't go Lando Norris. Never mind. Let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. No way, Jose, can he win this race in odes to the Mexican Grand Prix. Jose, no way, Jose. I'm going to go with Charles Leclerc this weekend. Ferrari, like we said, this is the typical Ferrari way, man. And they have turned up. I think this next stretch of races lies up good for them. I think they sweep America, Mexico, Brazil, and Vegas before we go back to the Middle East to round out the season. I think they're going to get 4 wins in a row. And I think Sainz is going to get some wins as well in this mix. I would look at him in Vegas. I think Sainz is going to win Vegas, to be honest with you. That's an early prediction. But I think Leclerc is going to win this weekend at Mexico. And I think we can see another 1-2 out of Ferrari this weekend. I really do. I'm really confident in that. And then we'll have more Max Verstappen, Lando Norris shenanigans, hopefully, to keep the entertainment going for that final podium spot. But then my dark horse, man, Yuki Tsunoda. You can't think anything different of Yuki Tsunoda. Man, this guy, if he's not in a Red Bull next year along with Max Verstappen, it's a damn crime and a damn shame to motorsports. Yuki Tsunoda is going places. I mean, just the absolute fight that he put with Perez. Well, it really wasn't even a fight. I mean, he was way faster. I mean,
Yeah.
desperation out of Perez. It is Perez's home Grand Prix, which means he's going to wreck out. But we'll hear the Checo, all night long. It ain't going to matter. Nothing could save that man. But I'm going to go Tsunoda as my dark horse.
Yeah, I also think Ferrari's going to be top dog here during the Mexican Grand Prix. I mean, sure, watch out for McLaren. I think the only one that could do anything there is still going to be Piastri, but also watch out for Max. But with that being said, though, I was going to choose Leclerc. I'm going to share the love here. I'm going to go with Sainz. Sainz obviously wasn't as good as Leclerc at Coda, but it's a new week, baby, and I think that you'll be able to see him front race days. We'll see. But with my dark horse, I'm going to share the love here as well because I've always liked Tsunoda, but it's a solid choice. But you also can't deny Hulkenberg. Just always extracting the best out of that car, and doing whatever he can to maximize performance. And I think that you're going to see it again at Mexico.
Heck yeah. I'm excited for this race. It's going to be a damn good race. I'm excited to see this championship battle continue to work its way out towards the end of this year. It's going to be exciting. All right. And then Sunday, the Cup Series, the Straight Talk Wireless 400 at Homestead, the second race of the round of 8. Lots of big time moments here on the line here for these playoff drivers with the gaps being opened up and widened with all the shenanigans we saw at Vegas. I think we're going to see a lot more of this shenanigans again play out at Homestead. There's so many people pressing right now and having issues. And I think some of the guys that had issues at Vegas are also going to have issues here as well. Except for one man. Look at Blaney, man. This man is going to find himself in victory lane. God, he was the best car last year. Just didn't get the job done at the end. Bell did. Bell's going to be fast, though. Bell's going to be tough to beat. I think he'll be up front all day long. I think Larson will be as well in the mix as long as he doesn't step over his appendage again. Doing hung money things. But Blaney's going to be right there, man. I think Blaney is going to put the fight up with Bell this weekend. And I think Blaney wins. Blaney's going to lock himself into that championship 4, and he's going to be the second driver to lock himself in this weekend. And it's going to be awesome to see Blaney make this absolute resurgence in the points and just completely flop it up on the upside down. The thing that's going to be interesting, though, when he wins this race, is it going to be Bell, Larson, Bell, Byron, Bell? Like, who's going to be the 2 in points after this weekend going into Martinsville? It's going to be interesting to see, but I think Blaney gets the job done. My dark horse, I'm going with Hosen Karsafar for obvious reasons. He's just an absolute Chad behind the wheel this year, getting more out of those Spire cars than the Bulldozer could, and proving to be an absolute generational talent in his own right in the Cup Series. And I think he's got shades of like raw speed of like a Kyle Busch, but he also has like the never give up attitude of a Chastain. I mean, he's a quality freaking driver, man. We're gonna see a lot of Carson Hocevar throughout the years in the Cup Series with lots of wins competing for championships down the line.
Look, so I think Blaney and Bell are going to be stupid fast. I really do. I just really feel like Reddick is going to have a good race weekend. I just do. I just feel it. I don't know why. I'm not really a big believer in him, just because of how the past couple of races have gone. But man, like, look, I don't know, man. I think that if there's a way to turn around what could be the game changer of the season, it's gonna be Homestead. It is. It's just gonna be. It's the only way. It's the only way, and I think 2311 is going to throw the book at it, just like the Seek team is going to be thrown at. Um, I feel like he is a long shot, but not really, really. So I'm gonna go with Reddick. Let's just see how he does. I just got this feeling. I guess I got this feeling. Got this feeling like I had with Ryan Sieg at Vegas. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But with my dark horse, I'm gonna go way dark horse here. I'm going way out in left field. Okay, I'm going with Justin Haley. Spire ride, maybe a track that kind of suits him a little bit better. I wouldn't say expect a lot out of him, just because new team, obviously already had spotter issues. But I don't know, maybe you could turn around. I'm just doing way left field here, okay?
I like
That's
it.
about it.
He was fast in Vegas. I mean, that's not a bad pick. So we'll see if that translates over to Homestead. This is gonna be a great race. I think Homestead's probably the most premier track that the next gen car has. To be honest with you, I mean, this is gonna be
Yeah, it used to be Auto Club in Atlanta.
That's true. That's true. So I'm excited to see how this race plays out. We'll do F1 fantasy, the NASCAR fantasy. My F1 fantasy has not changed. I got Norris, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, and Lawson.
Yeah, I got Leclerc, Piastri, Hulk, Magnussen, and Tsunoda.
Constructors, I got McLaren and Williams.
Yeah, I got Red Bull and Sauber.
Alrighty. NASCAR fantasy lineups for this weekend. I've got basically the same lineup, except I swapped out one driver. So I got Blaney, Larson, Bell, which I think was pretty obvious, and then Byron as well. But then I threw in Bowman, and that's just purely because, holy cow, I should have been using him the whole freaking playoffs, man. I would have had so many more points. Damn.
Well, I've been kind of failing on our fantasy deal. I just forget, man. I just forget. But regardless, I'm not gonna put Reddick on my lineup. I'm not. I am gonna put Bell though, because Bell is a safer choice. He is a safer. So I'm gonna go Bell, Bowman, Blaney, Larson, and Byron. That's what I'm gonna do.
Alrighty. And then next we have matchups. The Larson versus Byron. This is a good matchup because these guys are right there in points with each other. And at the end of this weekend, one of those guys could be outside the cut line. You never know. So I'm gonna take Larson over Byron just because I don't know, man. Are we gonna have a hung money moment? I feel like we had the hung money moment at Vegas. So I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't end, brother.
It doesn't end. So I'll take Larson over Byron. Just I have no real reason. I'm just gonna do it.
I'm gonna do Byron over Larson because hung money, baby.
We're
gonna see it again. We are. He's gonna run the wall so freaking close. He's gonna push it too hard because he's under so much pressure. He can't handle the pressure. He's going to wreck. He is going to wreck.
Oh man. All right, the next one is Bell Reddick, and I think this is another good matchup. I'm gonna take Bell. Like Tom said, safe choice here, and I think that him and Blaney are gonna be the two cars to beat in this race, and I think either one of them can win this.
Yeah, I'm going Bell too, for sure.
All right, the next one is Blaney and Truex. This is an interesting matchup. I'm not sure why this became a matchup, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Blaney. I think Blaney wins. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets.
A BDN? Of course I'm taking freaking Blaney. What the heck you think I'm doing here? I may be an idiot streaming to YouTube, but I'm not that big of an idiot.
It just depends on who you ask and what day it is. Oh man. All right. And then the last one, this one's a really good matchup because this is choke versus choker. So we got Elliott and Hamlin. I'm gonna take Elliott over Hamlin just for no real reason at all. There's nothing to say.
I don't know. You go either way. You know what? In fact, I'm going to go different from Jay. I'm doing Hamlin over Elliott.
There you go.
Screw it.
I don't know who to pick on that one.
Screw it.
Oh, man. Alrighty. that will be everything, I believe, for this week's podcast. That was fun talking about some racing. I'm excited for this weekend's races. Obviously, Homestead should be great. Lots on the line with the championship battles winding down for the season. Who's going to be in the championship four? Who's going to be eliminated? Who's going to be elated and depressed? We're going to find that all out this weekend at Homestead, as well as the Mexican Grand Prix, Formula One World Championship as the Constructors Championship. It could go any way still. I mean, the season's still up for grabs. And then obviously we're gonna have some great races again next weekend, which we'll talk about here next Tuesday. So make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday for episode 94 when we recap these races as well as preview the races upcoming for the next week. Make sure you guys go follow us on all of our socials. We got X, Patreon, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, as well as streaming over there on Kick. Hello to everybody that's watching over there on Kick. Thanks for your support. Make sure to go follow us over there. Also, go follow us on our Discord. That link is in the description below. Stay up to date with all the memes, drama, rumors, whatever it may be happening in the motorsports world. There's so much information on there, from everything from short track racing, dirt track racing, NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, sports car racing, whatever it may be. All the motorsports in the world, all that news is right here on our Discord, and also other people that you can interact with. And maybe there's some racing fans that like certain drivers you like or series you like. Interact with them, communicate with them. We got community chat. You guys can jump in there and hang out. We'll pop in there every once in a while and say hi. So come join our Discord, be a part of this amazing motorsports community on the internet. Also, Tom, what are we doing on Thursday?
Dude, look, okay. Jay, I sincerely think we found the issue with the car, okay? On Thursdays, we're streaming our championship bid with F1 2024. Jay and I, we've taken over the Sauber F1 team, and boy, what a dumpster fire it was. What a dumpster absolute fire. I mean, I'm talking like behind Applebee's dumpster fire. You know, that thing was just terrible. But look, we actually, well, not we, I tested something with a experimental setup. It worked. It worked. We did really well on it. Jay did not test it. You know, that's okay. We've found a weak link. We've got some setup issues. We're fixing that. And next race, what was it again? What's next race?
It will be the Miami Grand Prix.
Yeah, oh great. It's a freaking Jetta. So that's just gonna be lovely. It might be just another terrible race weekend. But here's the point. We scored major points in China. Major points. 10 freaking points. We're on the board, baby. And we got a great finish out of it. I think I finished, what, 5th, 6th in the race?
Yeah, something like that. On a sprint race, too. So, yeah, you did good.
Yeah, we got 8th in the sprint race, too. So, a little bit of an improvement there. Some good stuff happened to us. I think that with some of the upgrades that we got, we're going to be seeing a big boost of performance. But look, we're streaming every Thursday right here on Kick and YouTube. Jay and I, we've got the AI almost basically maxed out on difficulty. No assists, no nothing. And on top of that, I'm not even using this this racing simulator here with a beautiful wheel and pedal setup. I mean, adjustable chair. The back even moves, you know, front like this. Not even using it. I'm using an Xbox controller. And so we're just making it so much harder. And it is frustrating. But we got some points, baby. Got some points. So come on out. Watch us on Thursday. Hopefully, score some.
Heck yeah. Should be a lot of fun. So make sure to tune in. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. We'll be streaming on, like Tom said, Kick and YouTube. So make sure you guys come check that out. Turn on your notifications. Also, like I said earlier in the podcast, our watch parties for the month of November are set in stone. We're going to be doing the triple header NASCAR championships at Phoenix on Friday for the truck, Saturday for Xfinity, and Sunday for Cup. So come join us on all of those. Maybe have different cast of characters in the watch parties, hanging out, doing our thing. Come and enjoy that with us as if you were on the couch watching the races right next to us. That should be fun as we wind down this racing season. I believe that is everything I had here for tonight, Tom. I mean, that was fun. It was a good podcast. Excited for the races this weekend. Heck yeah. And lots of great stuff in the offseason too. So make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications. We got all kinds of cool video ideas we did last year during the offseason. We'll bring back our 12 days of motorsports again. We'll bring back our race previews or our season previews for all the series. We'll also be doing some more watch parties over the off season as well, like F1. In December, we'll do the championship race there at Abu Dhabi, as well as we decided we'll do Chili Bowl in January, as well as the Rolex. So lots of cool stuff to look forward to during the winter months. So make sure you guys stay up to date. Also, one more thing, go check out our merch store. Go buy you some Digga Boy swag. Go buy you a sweater, a beanie. You never know, sweatpants. It's getting cold outside wherever you're at. So make sure you guys go rep the boys. Get some comfortable and quality merch there as well. That link is also in the description. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been episode 93 of the Full Send Half Mass podcast. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening and enjoy the race this weekend. And we'll catch y'all in the next one.